Hello, Facebook world, friends, family, clients, people I don't know. This is another identity protection video I want to shoot live for you, just to talk about what I said I'd talk about last time, which is freezing your credit. With the Equifax breach, it brought a lot of questions into the world about protecting. It just brings us to the forefront. You know, there was a Target one before, and there was other ones now. Equifax, I mean, way worse than any other one because of the potential damage with all the credit information, or the social security number specifically, and addresses. It's deeper than just someone stealing your credit card and buying something. They could get their own credit cards. So the freeze we talked about before, that Equifax is offering some, a free service, which I can't tell you if that's any good. But we talked about some options, and there's credit freeze. And so I said I would do a video about that, and I looked up some information I want to tell you about. A credit freeze means that when if I was doing your mortgage, which I should be if you're getting a mortgage here at Epic Mortgage, what we would do is we go to pull your credit, and if you forgot to tell us or whatever, we would get notified that we can't pull your credit. We get a notice or note that it's blank, like there's no information for us to see. It'll say like credit freeze on it. So what we would do is we'd be calling you to tell you there's a credit freeze, we can't pull your credit. So it's kind of cool. I mean, that's 100% it works. No one can open any credit in your name, you nor anybody else, without them doing that. Now there are a couple alternatives. The bad thing about the credit freeze, not the bad thing, but it's the state laws are different from state to state. They govern how this works. And I got Michigan's laws. I looked up. Okay, so when they talk about the cost, like actually the state has laws for the cost and whether or not the freeze is forever. So in Michigan, my state, there's a bunch of other ones. You can look up creditcards.com. I'll actually save this link to the video description, but it has every state. So in Michigan, it's $10 per bureau to freeze your credit. If you want to lift it temporarily, like I don't want to end my credit freeze, but Epic Mortgage needs to pull my credit to buy me a house, to help me buy a house, it's $10 to lift it temporarily, and then $10 if you want to remove it altogether. So you really probably want to lift it because it's $10 if you take it off and then put it back on. That's $20. So 3 bureaus, that's $30, and then every time you want to buy something with that, like finance a 4-wheeler, a car, a house, it's $30. Okay, so $30 a pop every time because it's $10 times 3. So we have to pull all 3 bureaus, and most finance companies do. So that's the negative. Now there's a couple alternatives. There's something that is called a fraud alert. Now I've seen those as well when we pull people's credit. Fraud alert. We are required to verify identity at some point in our process anyway, but this is basically saying don't do anything further without verifying the identity. It's just a notice to us. Here's the problem with that is we know we would be on top of things, but if you're applying for a credit card well, not you, if someone else is impersonating you and applying for a credit card at, say, Macy's, is that person behind the desk at Macy's going to do what they're supposed to do and actually contact or pull out all the identification you need? Or if it's online, or it's up to a third party to actually do the job. There's nothing restricting them. People have been granted credit without having all the steps taken that they're supposed to take in a fraud alert kind of thing. So that's not that solid of a solution. The second one, or the third one, which is new, and it's kind of expensive, is there's subscription services that TransUnion has, and let me go to theirs. It's called a lock, credit lock. So they kind of bypass the state law with the credit freeze. The credit freeze is the laws are there to make sure that they have to offer those to you. But this is kind of where they bypass like the oversight and all that to make it easier for you. And they have like a membership that you are able to go onto their site or go onto your phone and say unfreeze to your application with Epic Mortgage or with Macy's or whoever, then put the freeze back on with a swipe of a finger. It's really weird. I think TransUnion, they must be just trying to get off the ground. They're not charging anything for it. So we'll put a link on there for that too. You have to sign up for True Identity is what they call it. And they say it's free. There's no credit card. And I went to their site. I did not see a trial. Okay, it just says they're going to do all kinds of stuff for you. Actually, we talked before about like Credit Karma and some of those things that at least tell you what's going on with your credit if something changes. But this says True Identity is a powerful identity protection in the palm of your hand. You're informed with unlimited TransUnion credit report refreshes, up-to-date alerts, always free. All of it's free. That's pretty cool. So, but you're locking only TransUnion. That's like I said before, you got to do all three on a credit freeze. This way, you could maybe lock the other two and do TransUnion this way, but they don't all really have the same product. Like that's TransUnion. Experian has one as well, but you get that service with their Experian with their Experian Identity Works Premium, which is $20 a month. You can try it for free for 30 days, but they're going to require payment, and then it's $20 a month. So, I mean, do you want to pay $20 a month for that? I don't know. TransUnion gives you theirs for free. Experian charges $20, and as far as I know, Equifax has nothing. And again, these are called credit locks, and so they can be locked and unlocked easily. Where the credit freeze is like, a little more challenging. But the credit freeze is an option that some people want. You say, I own my house, I own my car, I have the credit cards I want, I have the insurance I want, my cell phone, all the things where they might pull your credit, I have all that. So I don't need to worry about getting credit for a long time. Then a freeze is right for you, probably $30, you're frozen. Then you're not applying for anything. If something happens, someone tries to apply, they're going to be rejected. So it's kind of cool that you can do that. Just you got to think about how often you're going to be utilizing your credit. It doesn't protect you for stuff you already have, your current bills, but just anything new. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the 3 links. It's just simple forms. Zach, you want to show this form? It's just the Equifax version. It's just asking your personal identification information, and at some point they're going to Equifax might be doing it for free. I'm not 100% sure because it might have been part of their problem that they had, but you're going to go here and just fill it out. It's probably going to take you to another page. At some point you got to pay, okay? So $10, that's for Michigan. Other states have different costs. The TransUnion one looked exactly the same, and so did the Experian. So they're all pretty much the same. Added security freeze for Experian, it looks very similar. TransUnion looks very similar. So, but don't forget, if you freeze just one, it doesn't do you any good. Okay, you got to freeze all 3. So that's it. Hopefully that's good for you. Next time I will try to talk about like the different services that you might hear of identity. What is that one called? The one I mentioned last week.
Identity Guard.
Identity Guard. I don't know. Big one. The big one that like no one.
Like.
The guy that gave his social number out like a hero, and then everyone immediately stole his identity. But all it is insurance. They tell you what's happening. They don't stop it. But then there's insurance. But there's a bunch of different ones like that. LifeLock is what it's called. There's a bunch of different ones like that. I'll just give you like a rundown of what they cost and like the top 10 maybe. So you have something, Zach?
Yeah, we do have one question.
This is not a live Q&A.
Right. No kidding. Miles asks if you handle commercial loans.
What's up, Miles? This is not an identity protection question, but I do love mortgage questions. Yes, we do. So we do commercial loans as well. You can call the office anytime. 810-606-1075. So just give us a shout. And if you guys have any identity protection questions, email, Facebook message, or phone call as well. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.